One major challenge most people face in terms of real estate investment is that they go about seeking for advice or validation from people with no track record. Let's say, for instance, a person wants to buy a property, and the next thing you hear from that person is that they will get back to you. They will need to ask their friends or their relation or their father, and these are people with no proven track record. They've not bought land in that particular place before, and it could be that the only land those people own are the ones that they inherited from their father or given to them as gift from friends or well wishers. So how can such person give you a legit advice in terms of real estate investment when the person doesn't own or have any property in that particular place? Let's say, for instance, you cannot be asking a person for advice as regards to buying land in Ibejuleki when he doesn't own a plot there. All right. Some time ago, I had a friend who chatted me up. He saw one of the property I posted and he chatted me up in a bid to get the property. The property was situated at Ibejuleki. As at then, it was being sold for 500,000 naira. So after speaking to him, he told me that he's going to get back to me. He needed to seek the advice of his father. So that was how I went to seek the advice of his father, and he came back to me. He told me that he's not buying again. I said, then years later, I think earlier this year, he told me up. He told me he still wanted to get a property at Ibejuleki, the one that was I displayed for 500,000 in 2020. I told him that the property is no longer 500k. It is over 3 million naira now. I shouted, and he felt so bad. He told me that if he had known, he would have gotten that property without seeking for validation from his father. So this is what happens to you when you go about seeking for seeking validation from people or seeking for advice from people with no proven track record. All right. Even if you wish to seek for advice or validation, ensure you do that with an expert. You can meet a real estate consultant. You can meet a specialist in the real estate field for advice, not your friends or well wishers or your father. Those people are, in as much as they have your best interest in mind, but they don't know, they may not necessarily know what real estate investment entails. I only had a friend who wanted to buy a particular plot of land. Okay, he now went ahead to make an inquiry to seek the advice of his friends. They all told him not to buy that particular plot of land. So months later, he discovered that those persons who told him not to buy that land went behind his back and bought plots of land in that same area, and that land has increased exponentially. The return of investment has increased immediately. So that's it. Before you get a land, it's not bad to seek for advice of people and friends. It's not bad, but even if you go about doing that, ensure that these are persons with proven track record.